To reduce or relieve anxiety through yoga and meditation practice, there are a few key pieces to incorporate. When it comes to breathing, breathing into your belly, particularly your lower belly, can help to initiate your body's relaxation response. Also, slowing the breath can be important, using an even breath ratio, so you're counting to a certain number on the inhale and that same number on the exhale. And then the third practice with breathing would be to add a pause at the end of the exhale. When it comes to stretching practice and movement practice, we want to focus on feeling the relationship between the body and the ground, so literally grounding. Stretching the parts of the body that are close to the ground, like hips and legs. Folding forward is helpful for initiating the body's relaxation response, as are inversions when you're bringing your feet above your heart. So this practice is going to incorporate all of those pieces together, and we'll begin just by sitting tall, closing our eyes, and directing our attention inward. Notice how your body's feeling. Notice where you can let go of unconscious clenching and unnecessary tension. Feel the relationship between your sitting bones and the ground beneath you. Can you allow your body to settle against the earth a little more firmly? Name to yourself how you're feeling mentally and emotionally in this moment. And become more aware of your breathing. Rest one hand just below your navel. When you inhale, try to inhale right into the palm of your hand. To accentuate that belly breath as we exhale, we're going to lightly draw the belly toward the spine, taking care to let the exhale all the way out. Breathing into the lower abdomen as you inhale, and lightly drawing the belly toward the spine as you exhale. And continuing to practice breathing into the palm of your hand until it starts to feel more natural. And now see if you can slow the pace of your breathing so that you're taking longer, deeper inhales, longer, slower exhales. Begin to even out the breath by counting to 5 on the in-breath, and using that same pace to count to 5 on the out-breath. 5 count inhale, 5 count exhale. And now see if you have some room to lengthen the breath a little bit further by counting to 6 on this next inhale. And also counting to 6 on the exhale. Six count inhale. 6 count exhale. Finally, we'll add a short pause at the end of the exhale. 6 count inhale. 6 count exhale. At the end of the exhale, we pause the breath for 2 or 3 counts. Six count inhales. 6 count exhales. At the end of the exhale, the body, mind, and breath come into total stillness for a moment. Guiding yourself through one more full cycle of breath. And then we'll allow our hand to come back to our lap. We'll continue to be aware of the breath and watch the breath, but we're no longer manipulating it or altering it in any way. So now you just watch your breath, breathing how it wants to breathe. When you're ready to, starting to blink your eyes back open. Now we can incorporate some choice anxiety reducing movements with our breathing pattern, adding a short pause at the end of the exhales. So starting with rounding your back as you exhale, tuck your chin, tuck your abdomen. At the end of the exhale, short pause. When you're ready to inhale, arch your back by pulling your chest forward and up, drawing your shoulders back. We'll take a gentle bow forward as we exhale. Allow your neck to soften and relax as you bow, and pause for a moment at the bottom of the exhale. When you're ready to inhale, arch your back by lifting your chest and drawing your shoulders back. And then rounding back into a C shape as you exhale, adding a short pause at the end of the exhale. Try to move at your own pace of breathing, arching on the in-breath. And then we bow forward on the out-breath. Pausing at the bottom. Arching on the in-breath. Rounding back on the out-breath. Short pause on the in-breath, arching. And a final bow on the out-breath. And now allow yourself to come fully into your forward fold. Stretch your arms forward. Let your back and neck relax. Take a few deep breaths in your forward fold, inhaling through your nose and a long exhale through your open mouth like you're fogging sunglasses. Taking 5 deep breaths just like that. When your next exhale is fully released, make your way back up to seated. You might like to stretch your legs forward for a moment here and roll your ankles a few times. And then we're going to make our way into an all fours position. Placing a blanket under your knees if you need it. Feel the relationship between your body and the ground. Allow your hands and knees to settle in against that firm surface a little more firmly. Start to round your spine here, curl your tailbone under, tuck your chin, and let your hips sink back towards your heels. Relax and bend your elbows. Relax your body toward the earth. We'll come back up to all fours, leading with the chest. So we're going to pull the chest forward toward the wrists and up to all fours, maybe also lifting the tailbone to arch the back. Once you get to the top, start to round again. Curl your tailbone, tuck your chin, sink your hips back towards your heels. Elbows bend, body relaxes. To come up, the chest pulls forward toward the wrists and up as the tailbone lifts. Start to use your breath as you're exhaling, rounding, and sinking back. At the end of the exhale, the body, mind, and breath come into total stillness for a moment. When you're ready to inhale, pull your chest forward and up. Lift your tailbone. Let's take this through 3 more breaths, rounding and sinking back on the exhale, coming into stillness at the end of the exhale. Arching and rising up on the inhale. When you finish that 3rd full cycle, coming back to your all fours position, we'll set up for a wide knee child's pose. The knees are as wide as is comfortable, the big toes together. Hips sink back toward the heels. And the chest either relaxes down toward the mat, or you might like to slide a bolster under your torso and take a more restorative version of the pose. Either way, focus on breathing into your lower belly. Relax your outer hips. Relax your pelvic floor. When you inhale into your belly, see if you can feel some hip and pelvic floor expansion. Taking 6 more breaths here. When your next exhale is fully released, we're going to shift forward to lying on the front of the body on the mat. Coming into a resting crocodile position, you'll stack your hands under your forehead with the tops of the feet on the mat and the feet as wide as the mat. Bring your attention back to your lower abdomen. As you inhale, press your lower abdomen into the earth. Allow the body to relax toward the earth as you exhale. Expanding the abdomen on your inhale into the earth. Relaxing your body down into the earth as you exhale. See if you can relax your hips and pelvic floor so that when you inhale into the belly, you also feel your hips and pelvic floor expand. Everything relaxing into the earth on the exhale. One more generous breath here. And then we're going to bring our hands into a passive cobra position. So the palms are in between the upper and lower ribs. The elbows are hugging in toward the low ribs. And the tops of the feet are on the mat. Forehead or chin resting also on the mat. When you inhale, push down through the front of your hips to lift your heart. When you exhale, push down through your hands all the way back to child's pose. Keep your hands rooted where they are if you can. At the bottom of your exhale, pause your breath for 2 or 3 counts. Total stillness. On the inhale, shifting forward back to hands and knees. We're going to allow the hips to sink all the way down. We'll lift the chest and draw the shoulders back into a high cobra. On the exhale, bend the elbows slowly towards your low ribs, lowering all the way back down. When you're ready to inhale, push down through the front of the hips, lift the chest. Exhale, push through the hands all the way back to child's pose, hands stay put. 2 or 3 count pause at the end of the exhale, total stillness. Inhaling to all fours, hips sink toward the mat, heart lifts, shoulders draw back, maybe also tilting the chin up. Exhale, bend the elbows, slow release. One more time on the inhale, push through the hips, lift the heart. Exhale, push through the hands, child's pose. Total stillness. Inhale, all fours. Hips sink down, heart draws forward, shoulders draw back. Bend the elbows, slow release to the mat. Coming back into a resting crocodile position, feet wide, hands stacked under the forehead, body relaxing fully against the earth. 6 deep belly breaths here. When your next exhale is fully released, roll onto your back. With your knees bent and your feet about hip distance apart, cross your right ankle over your left knee. Lift your left foot, interlace your fingers behind your thigh. Flex your right foot, hug the legs in. Shoulder blades push against the mat so the shoulders are open. Please relax your jaw and your throat. Breathe into your belly. If you'd like to invite some movement with breath here, on the inhale, allow the legs to move a little further away. On the exhale, hug the legs in a little closer. Taking 3 more breaths here. And then coming into that stretch on the other side. And then we'll release and hug both knees in toward the chest. With one hand on each knee, guide your knees around in circles. And then reverse direction. Take your circles around the other way. Knees hugging into center. Extend your arms out to the sides or a little overhead like a V shape on the floor. The knees will lower down to the right to come into a twist. You can either turn your head the same direction as your knees, or you can look opposite direction, whichever feels best. Every breath is an opportunity to allow your body and your mind to settle a little more fully. Try to keep your mind here with your body and your breath. How deeply can you go into your experience of your body? Transitioning into the twist on the other side. Drawing the knees back up to center, we finish the practice with Apanasana pose. On the exhale, knees hug toward the chest with one hand on each knee. On the inhale, knees move forward, arms extend. Exhale, hugging in. 2 or 3 count pause at the bottom of the exhale, body, mind, breath, total stillness. Inhaling to a count of 5 or 6. Exhaling to a count of 5 or 6. Total stillness for 2 or 3 counts. One more full cycle of breath. And then making your way into a Shavasana position, either lying flat on your back, taking the legs up the wall position, or lifting your lower legs with a bolster and a couple of blocks. Just like Stonehenge. Please allow yourself at least 2 minutes of Shavasana, allowing your body and mind to release all tension and effort. If you have the time, I encourage you to take a 10 or 15-minute Shavasana.